Here you can see the seat actually in early production motor here. Now this here is actually one of the original kit seats that was actually from the parts bin of 1/16 scale Charger kit that they did in the past. Now with this kit being so inaccurate in detail, like I said before, it's actually a lovely kit for a NASCAR kit, but when making a street version, it's not ready for that process. So here we are taking a seat of the 1/16 scale Charger kit, and we're actually making it into a street version seat. Now, this is in between 68 and 69 and 78 Charger interior, people. And on this here, we are actually converting this seat into a 69 Charger seat by adding layers of plastic evergreen and super glue, which is also, I want to say, it's Loctite, long neck liquid super glue that we use. Now, each one of these squares was actually a layer of evergreen going across, and we used the smallest engraving bit to actually remove the lines. And what you're seeing right here is actually the jag for the rear axle housing to sit on, as you see right here. This way, when we go to put the side piece on, like leaf shack with everything on, we know exactly if it's level or not. And here is actually the new trunk pan and pieces that PIP makes. Now, each one of the details, as you've seen in the previous clips, was all hand done. Now, the frame mills, yes, they're handmade. Every piece of suspension is all handmade. And it was a labor of love to actually take and make these pieces, I will say. But it's actually a real fun process when you know what you're doing on this. And as you can see in the upper right corner, yes, that is actually a clothespin that's actually holding the part in place just for temporary. Now, one thing that gets me is on the kit is the rear suspension and rear taillight housing unit. When we was doing the mock-ups here, we realized that the panel and how we want to do it correctly would not work. And with the extended piece that we did before in the other clips, we actually had to extend this on here. Now, when we did this, we actually glued the pieces in place, the rear volume panel in, and we, as you can see, we had a strip of a plastic sign in there as a space pillar. And I will say, we actually had to do a lot of mock-ups on there, and also rising up pieces. And as you can see right here, the white here is actually the kit white, compared to how much we actually had to remove and how much we had to fill in. We're approximating stuff to get the shell to look like a Dodge Charger. Like I said before, the Charger is like a bulky item in this kit. And to make it look like a street Charger, there's a lot of modification that has to be done. And what you're seeing on the tape here is we're not racial by no chance. We'd love to confirm flag everything, but we was taping up the areas that way we could do a measurement for the decals that PIP is actually working on. This way, we know exactly how big, and also exactly how big the decal is going to be to actually put on there. And to do that, we tape up the area. And on this build, decals might be maybe painted on at this stage. Now, the yellow piece right there is actually a piece of a yellow sign. Now, it's actually, how crazy, that's how much plastic we had to remove. Some places approximately took place where there's like little panels we actually applied sign, and sometimes liquid super glue and baking soda. Here you can see the rear taillight panel, and I'll put it here. You're not seeing things. That taillight panel is actually modified. We actually had to take a layer of plastic behind there to extend it back a little deeper. And if you look at the taillight panel itself, you can see where it's a little more in depth. Now the thing is, the kit taillight panel is actually flush almost with the rear of the car, which ain't supposed to be like it. So we actually had to remove a lot of evergreen plastic in there and actually carve it out. Now what you're seeing right here is actually the sail panel. Now the thing is, on the Charger, on the real one, where some of you builders don't have access to it and don't know a real one actually looks like in person, I have access to quite a few real ones, okay? And I'll put this here. The door alignment, the door trim, all the way back around, right back to the Dutchman panel area in the back there, it's all in a straight line. Now, when we were doing the work on this here, we realized that the rear quarter skin area and the tail area, that the side tunnel was actually blown outwards a little bit where it shouldn't be. And the roof comes down at a unique angle and very bit of a mud at and ties in. Well, the thing is, when we were looking at it, we realized that it was actually popping out in the back a little too far, and as we were easily working from the door jamb back, we actually had to remove a little more toward the trunk lip area. And by looking at the reverend picture and looking at the real charger, we realized that we had a problem, that the deck bed, where the tunnels was actually ending at, was too far down the trunk lip area, so we had to shorten them up a little bit. And to do that, as you shorten them up, you had to come inwards. Now, what you guys see right here is we're actually doing measurement of decals for the door here. Because the kit decals that come in the kit is not bad. I will say they're not bad. They're actually pretty good decals, but for this to be done, the kit decals is not accurate and won't be used on this kit. Now, the thing is, with us doing our own decals, we are actually measuring the door decals here to see exactly what size we need to make them as. Now, right here, the roof stencils that generally in the roof was actually an OSAT decal that we actually used because we don't want to destroy the kit decals. So we put them in a plastic bag in one of the drawers, and we easily labeled the baggie. But we wanted to take and use a junk set for the central roof so that we can get an idea of how it's going to look. And the exact spacing, and I'll put it here, even the decals on the roof was actually not even the right size, properly font size for this build here. So we decided, the best thing to do is do our own decals. But to get everything done right, and everything laid around everything, we started doing templates here. So we can actually see exactly what size we need to make. Now, I'll put it here, doing those decals is actually a fun thing to do. And actually funny to know how to do them. Now, you probably wonder what this is. Now, I'll put this here. Suspension pieces, body pieces, decals making. Now, this here goes to the underside of the chassis. Here you can see being held in place, a mock-up. And what is this piece? Everybody might ask. You all might be asking. If you think you know what this piece is, comment down in the comment section if you think you know what it is. Before you watch it all the way through. Because I'll put this here. This little piece here is actually a gas tank holding strap. Support piece. Now, that angle you're seeing right there, not the flat one, but the curved one, that actually fits in the trunk pan department. Yes, they're very thin, and they're very small. That's how small details we go on builds. We get right down to the small detail we went to. Now here you can see one of them is actually being held in place, right here, set in place, as a mock-up to get the proper locations for the gas tank. Now that piece of tape you're seeing there is actually a tape template of a gas tank design. Of a real charger gas tank looks like at the bottom. And we're trying to use the black tape and tape this up as a mock-up so we can actually make a realistic gas tank for this build. But to do that, we have to get the gas tank strap mount in location first. And yes, it's detail after detail. One detail leads to the other detail. Now, here is, remember that tape piece you were just looking at? Well, here is the tape piece. Now, actually carved out into this right here. Now, this ain't the actual part, people. So, this is a stamp. This here is actually a wooden buck mold for the stamp so that the real part would be manufactured on. It would be actually rubbed out on. And I'll put this here. Aluminum has been tested. Steel has been tested on this. And so far we're looking at aluminum more than anything because it's easy to work with. The suspension. We made the apron, but we made it too wide. So we gotta make an adjustment. We gotta extend it a little more here. As you see, this there's a little stripe in it for it. Like I said, little mods here and there to actually adjust it right and tweaks here and there. But in the end, it will come out looking like a real charger should look like.